Welcome back to One's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out at all on your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's journey. I'm super excited for today's topic. We are going to talk about duality versus oneness. And this was an interesting topic that when I really was into the New Age movement, oneness, we are one, all of that. So I've always looked at us being connected, right? The collective consciousness, all different statements contain that. But I have come to see it as more of a cause than an effect, right? From the top down instead of the bottom up. So what I believe is there's one mind here projecting all of this illusion. And for me, when prior to really understanding what that meant, I saw it as we're all individuals connected at some point, right? The collective consciousness, Gaia, any of that, whatever you're referencing. And what I've come to believe and believe to be truth is that we are one mind, right? Projected out in this illusion into multiple bodies, right? Because the bodies are just an illusion. And that's how we're connected, because in fact, we're one mind, right? Essentially, we've talked already about how we got here, what this place is, and who really did it, who really created this space. And we did, the ego did, right? The ego, in which is a belief system about ourselves. When I talk about it in that video, and if you haven't watched that video, I highly encourage you. It's called WTF is this place? How did we get here? Who created this place? But essentially what I talk about is the different splits, the split from being the creator to the perceiver, which is the creation of consciousness, and from that split to the ego and the Holy Spirit, and then the ego branching off, us blocking out the Holy Spirit and running away essentially with the ego, into which this is illusion, and then the ego created the body, so that we could experience the illusion and it be projected, and we can actually be within it and experience it. So the ego had separated us once again into all of these individual bodies. Though in fact, like you said, we are only one mind that carries one belief of ourself, known as the ego, right? So the way in which the illusion appears is that of duality. For every negative, there's a positive. There's always an opposite, up, down, side to side, dark, light. And that is what duality is. And duality essentially was a result of being the observer, right? The movement from the initial separation. And in the illusion, duality is actually used as another form of constant separation in everything. It is a continuous reminder to our subconscious of the shame and guilt we carry from the initial separation. So we have no clue that we are constantly facing the initial shame and guilt. Hence why we don't get out of here, right? We're just constantly torturing ourselves and constantly reminding of ourselves of how shitty we are. Even in the fact of male, female, broken, fixed, every single thing we look at, fat, skinny, there is an opposite. And there is a duality and oneness, but the type of oneness I speak of is pure oneness, true oneness, at the truest form. Again, everything that is projected is that of duality, which we already talked about, is a constant reminder of the shame and guilt we already carry from the initial separation. And in that is also the constant projecting. This is a projection. Within the illusion, we are constantly projecting our own shame and guilt to the other people instead of focusing on ourselves, because we think there is that separation. Seeing the shame and guilt you carry within and then blame externally, send it externally. And there will be a later video coming called Mirror Mirror. And we'll really talk about how that shows up in our life and how mirror and the ability to see projection in what you see in other people is actually a huge flashlight into your ability to areas that still are requesting forgiveness from you to move forward. So pay attention, watch out for the movie, or not movie, for the video Mirror coming, because that will be huge flashlights. But if we're constantly projecting our own shame and guilt onto other people instead of focusing on ourselves, well, it feels like we're externalizing it because it makes sense because that's what this projection is. But in fact, we're one. So when I'm projecting my anger on you, it's really doing nothing because it's actually, that's me. I am you, you are me. And my subconscious knows this. So when I yell at Patrick, my partner, I'm in fact yelling at me. My subconscious is taking that in as me yelling at myself. Because we are only one mind. We just happen to be projected into multiple bodies. In this illusion as well, we tend to demand others to suffer, sacrifice, so that we can make gain, so that we can make a gain. And again, it is into that game of the ego because in fact, their sacrifice is also our sacrifice. Their success is also our success because there is no them and me. There is no we and us. There is no you or me. There is not, there's just I. One mind. So when you are expecting others to sacrifice for your gain, you're essentially expecting yourself to sacrifice for your own gain because there is only own, right? There is only one. The biggest piece from this discussion today is to remember that though consciously you are interpreting this world as duality, as you and me, your subconscious is not. In your subconscious, if you have done any sort of inner healing or trauma work or therapy or coaching, whatever, you know that your subconscious is actually really the one in charge, running a lot of the shit behind closed doors, causing you to act certain ways based on past experiences you have had that aren't currently in your conscious. Consciously, you can try to adjust that, but ultimately your subconscious only knows oneness. And even if you try to consciously rationalize, like say Patrick pisses me off, and I consciously attempt to rationalize why me ignoring him is okay, it doesn't matter if I consciously rationalize it, because in fact, my subconscious knows that there's one here, and by me ignoring him, I am ignoring myself. So oftentimes we are projecting on other people our own shit within that is requesting our own forgiveness within because it's our piece of the hologram we are experiencing. But in reality, we are all one. Pure non-dualistic oneness. That was the video for today on duality versus oneness. Again, it's from the cause to the effect, not the effect to the cause. There was one mind here. You are me, I am you, you are me, blah, blah, blah. We are all one. There is only one here. So pay attention to how you are treating your brother, how you are treating yourself. And at the end of the day, just know that no matter how much convincing you attempt to do in your conscious, your subconscious knows the truth that essentially we are one. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, make some comments, share your takeaways, share your questions. This is a deep, dark rabbit hole that we go on when these videos come out. So if I don't hear questions, I'm wondering if anyone's listening to those videos, because I know in fact that at the end of the day, this language, these words are just symbols of symbols created by the ego. So why would there be symbols to really explain this? I do my best to show up for my best for you. And I hope that you please let me know when you have questions. But as always, until the next time we meet again, Remember, you are worth it. And here in BME is a safe space to get curious, do the deep dive, and find your way back home to your most authentic self, to the Holy Spirit, your highest self, and get the heck out of this illusion. Wake up! Love you.